When transistors are used in digital circuits, they usually operate in the A. active region, B. breakdown region, C. saturation and cutoff regions, D. linear region. The correct answer is saturation and cutoff regions. 3 different Q points are shown on a DC load line. The upper Q point represents the A. minimum current gain, B. intermediate current gain, C. maximum current gain, D. cutoff point. The correct answer is maximum current gain. A transistor has a of 250 and a base current IB of 20 A. The collector current IC equals A 500 A, B 5 mA, C 50 mA, D 5 A. The correct answer is 5 mA. A current ratio of IC/IE is usually less than 1 and is called A beta, B theta, C alpha, D omega. The correct answer is alpha. With the positive probe on an NPN base, an ohmmeter reading between the other transistor terminals should be A open, B infinite, C low resistance, D high resistance. The correct answer is low resistance. In ACE configuration, an emitter resistor is used for A. stabilization, B. AC signal bypass, C. collector bias, D. higher gain. The correct answer is stabilization. Voltage divider bias provides A. an unstable Q point, B. a stable Q point, C. a Q point that easily varies with changes in the transistor's current gain, D. a Q point that is stable and easily varies with changes in the transistor's current gain. The correct answer is a stable Q point. To operate properly, a transistor's base emitter junction must be forward biased with reverse bias applied to which junction? A. collector emitter, B. base collector, C. base emitter, D. collector base. The correct answer is collector base. The ends of a load line drawn on a family of curves determine A. saturation and cutoff, B. the operating point, C. the power curve, D. the amplification factor. The correct answer is saturation and cutoff. If VCC 18V voltage divider resistor R1 is 4.7 K and R2 is 1500, what is the base bias voltage? A. 8.70 V, B. 4.35 V, C. 2.90 V, D. 0.7 V. The correct answer is 4.35 V. The CB configuration is used to provide which type of gain? A. voltage, B. current, C. resistance, D. power. The correct answer is voltage. The Q point on a load line may be used to determine A. VC, B. VCC, C. VB, D. IC. The correct answer is VB. A transistor may be used as a switching device or as A. fixed resistor, B. tuning device, C. rectifier, D. variable resistor. The correct answer is variable resistor. If an input signal ranges from 2040 A microohms with an output signal ranging from 1.5 milliamps, what is the AC beta? A. 0.05, B. 20, C. 50, D. 500. The correct answer is 50. Which is beta's current ratio? A. ICIB, B. ICIE, C. IBIE, D. IEIB. The correct answer is ICIB. A collector characteristic curve is a graph showing A. emitter current IE versus collector emitter voltage VCE with VBB base bias voltage held constant. B. Collector current IC versus collector emitter voltage VCE with VBB base bias voltage held constant. C. Collector current IC versus collector emitter voltage VC with VBB base bias voltage held constant. D. Collector current IC versus collector emitter voltage VCC with VBB base bias voltage held constant. The correct answer is collector current IC versus collector emitter voltage VCE with VBB base bias voltage held constant. With low power transistor packages, the base terminal is usually the A tab end, B middle, C right end, D stud mount. The correct answer is middle. When a silicon diode is forward biased, what is VB for ACE configuration? A. Voltage divider bias, B 0.4 V, C 0.7 V, D emitter voltage. The correct answer is 0.7 V. What is the current gain for a common base configuration where IE 4.2 mA and IC 4.0 mA? A 16.80, B 1.05, C 0.20, D 0.95. The correct answer is 0.95. With a PNP circuit, the most positive voltage is probably A. Ground, B. VC, C. VB, D. VCC. The correct answer is ground. If a 2 mV signal produces a 2 V output, what is the voltage gain? A 0.001, B 0.004, C 100, D 1000. The correct answer is 1000. Most of the electrons in the base of an NPN transistor flow A. out of the base lead, B. into the collector, C. into the emitter, D. into the base supply. The correct answer is into the collector. In a transistor, collector current is controlled by A. collector voltage, B. base current, C. collector resistance, D. all of the above. The correct answer is base current. Total emitter current is A. IEIC, B. ICIE, C. IBIC, D. IBIC. The correct answer is IBIC. Often a common collector will be the last stage before the load. The main functions of this stage is to A. provide voltage gain, B. provide phase inversion, C. provide a high frequency path to improve the frequency response, D. buffer the voltage amplifiers from the low resistance load and provide impedance matching for maximum power transfer. The correct answer is buffer the voltage amplifiers from the low resistance load and provide impedance matching for maximum power transfer. For ACC configuration to operate properly, the collector base junction should be reverse biased while forward bias should be applied to which junction? A. collector emitter, B. base emitter, C. collector base, D. cathode anode. The correct answer is collector emitter. The input-output relationship of the common collector and common base amplifiers is A. 270 degrees, B. 180 degrees, C. 90 degrees, D. 0 degrees. The correct answer is 0 degrees. If a transistor operates at the middle of the DC load line, a decrease in the current gain will move the Q point A of the load line, B. nowhere, C. up, D. down. The correct answer is down. Which is the higher gain provided by ACE configuration? A. voltage, B. current, C. resistance, D. power. The correct answer is power. What is the collector current for ACE configuration with a beta of 100 and a base current of 30 A? A. 30 A, B.3A, C 3 Ma, D 3 Ma. The correct answer is 3 Ma.